10 cars left. Chris Wells and Wes Johnson are your first pair. Chris Wells, the team out of Washington, in the injected small block Chevy buggy in the near lane. Wes Johnson in the Ford Power. To the far lane, Wes Johnson gets the win. So Wes Johnson, nice lap there, getting around Chris. Chris had a really good light over here in the near lane. Not sure what the numbers were there, but Wes Johnson, far lane, will advance on here in the Pro Gambler. But next out is going to be Kenny Hayes and Dave Costa. Kenny will be here in the near lane, Dave Costa in the far lane. Very good running Jeeps here. Kenny had the bye last round, he ran 350. Kenny was driving in on that one. He went hard to the cones and stayed in it. Takes the win, 354 at 91 miles an hour. 448 for Dave Costa over on the far side. Looks like he fell off from his earlier run. So 354, Kenny Hayes going to the next round. And now it'll be Chris Adamson sitting on the bye here. So Chris Adamson will run Kenny Hayes next round, and Wes Johnson will have the bye in this Pro Gambler class. We split the field into an A half and B half. So at 10 cars, it means there's 5 in each half. So Chris Adamson getting the bye in the fast half. Chris Adamson goes 431. He's been riding right around 430 to 32 all day. So Chris Adamson going down to 3 cars in the fast half of the Pro Gambler. So like I said, we've got we're in round 3 of the Friday Pro Gambler. 10 cars left. In the Pro Gambler, they split it into a fast and a slow half, A and a B field. So we had 10 in this round, means 5 in each half. We just ran the fast half there. The not as fast half's coming up next. So it looks like we're good on our connection for the rest of the weekend. We had some connection issues earlier on, but I think we're good to go now. So I'm going to give a big shout out to our friends at Good Vibrations Motorsports for all their support. Be sure to go to goodvibesracing.com. There you go, Good Vibrations Motorsports. Be sure to like and share them on Facebook as well, at Good Vibrations Motorsports. So we are up against that over there. We are losing daylight quickly. It's going down over the mountains that way. yeah, we're losing daylight quickly. So hopefully we can get this gambler in tonight. If not, hopefully we get down to at least the semis or so. But yeah, we don't have lights here, so we'll see how this goes. But lots of cars here today. Good turnout. Let's see if we can get it back down to where we got some little bit of light. All right, so factories are clear. Getting ready to fire the next pair. We saw some great action earlier on with the heads-up categories. Jim Hammond, your #1 qualifier in top alcohol, threw down a nice little 2:48 lap in the second session. So a really nice run for Jim and the whole April's Dream team. Jim Rossi stayed #1 in top eliminator. He ran 298.0 in the first session, and that held up in the second session. Jim looking good this weekend. He threw down another 98 in the second session, so he's got that car dialed in. So it looks like Ron Huff has got the bye here in the slow half, or in the B half of the field here. Gets the win there. He'll advance on. He goes 491. Next up, Chris Pintor. Chris Pintor in the near lane in the square body pickup. Looking up against the 13 HP. I believe that's one of the Helmuth crew about that people with the hard side. Chris Pintor over here in the near lane. Chris is looking really good tonight. See if he can keep it going. So next up, it's going to be Ken Seipert over in the far lane. He's got the bye. Well, I'm assuming that Ron Huff's was a single, the first one out. So Ken Seipert sitting on the bye here. Ken Seipert, 461, 68 miles an hour for the heavy Mopar power truck over there. Putting down some power for the Master Blaster truck. So at 3 cars in the B half of the Pro Gambler, you're going to have Ken Seipert, Ron Huff, and Chris Pintor coming back. Not sure which one of the 3 has the bye. Trying to get the camera to lighten up again. I'm not sure if I'm going to have any luck at that. What numbers have the bye, Mario? What numbers have the buys this round? Which numbers have the buys? Wes Johnson will have the bye in the A half, and Chris Pintor will have the bye in the B half. So we got 3 rounds left. Hopefully we can beat the ever-growing darkness over there. Looks like the sun is going down quite quickly. So 3 rounds left. It looks like Kenny's in the car. Chris Adams is putting his helmet on. We're getting ready to go. Yep, we'll be here all weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we're finishing up tonight's Gambler. We had qualifying earlier as well. Tomorrow will be the Sportsman classes as well as a Gambler, and we'll finish up qualifying for the heads-up categories. And then Sunday we'll have the Juniors, and then we'll have the Pro Bracket classes, Eliminations, as well as Eliminations for Top Alcohol, Top Eliminator, Pro Mod, and the Fast Fours cars. We got a full weekend of racing left ahead of us. Hope the feed's looking good for everybody. It's probably a little dark. There we go. I'll lighten it up a little there. We had some technical issues earlier today, but I think we're good for the rest of the weekend. Looks like we got most of the the quarterfinalists back. Oh, that's what we're waiting on. We got tractors coming back. There they are. They're coming towards us. So you're watching the 2018 Avenal Sand Drags Fall Nationals. We're in Avenal, California. I also did that earlier, lighten it up. Big thanks to Good Vibrations Motorsports as always. GoodVibesRacing.com. At Good Vibrations Motorsports on Facebook. Here's all the Avenal Sand Drag sponsors. Mr. Chris Pintor, like I said, see him in action here. Still in it in today's Gambler. Pintor's Tire and Fuel out of Santa Margarita. Avenal Lumber, Ron and Julie Moran, great folks. They helped me out in a pinch earlier today. Great people at Avenal Lumber. A bunch of folks here that pitch in and make things happen here. Ross and Sons Refrigeration and Construction out of Fresno. See Adam and Rick and Richard and the whole crew there. Quality Machinery, sponsor this time around. Lots of great folks make this happen here at Avenal Sand Drags, and we got cars running. Chris Adamson. This is going to be a great race. Two of the very best out here on the West Coast in the sand drag game. Kenny's been on quite a roll in the Friday Gamblers this season. He's had several wins. I believe he won the last one in Saboba last month. Kenny Hayes in the near lane and Chris Adamson in the far lane. Taking the win. Chris Adamson, 428, 357 for Kenny. Kenny fell off a little bit. Gave just enough room for Chris Adamson to take the win. Next up is going to be Ron Huff near lane and Ken Seifert in the far lane. And the win over here in the left lane, in the near side, to Ron Huff. Ron throws down a 492. He's been throwing down low 90s all day. Really consistent in that yellow Jeep. So he'll face off with Chris Pintor, and Chris Adamson will face off with Wes Johnson. Wes sitting on the bye here in the A field of the Pro Gamblers. Puts her down through there to advance on 409 at 80 miles an hour. Now Chris Pintor, who's sitting on the bye in the B field, over on the far side, will face Ron Huff next round. Chris Pintor goes down through there to a 496 at 65 miles an hour. So semifinals are next. It's going to be Chris Pintor against Ron Huff, and it'll be Wes Johnson and Chris Adamson. 4 tough contenders. Who's everybody got their money on here? Chris Adamson's had a heck of a season this year. He won the Hammer Down Nationals last month in Saboba and clinched the Pro 3 championship for the season. That was pretty cool. So Chris on a roll lately. Then you got Wes Johnson. Wes locked up the 395 Index championship at the last race with the win. Then you got Ron Huff. I believe this is his second race in the Jeep, the yellow Jeep. He's really taken to that ride. He's been putting down some good laps. And then Chris Pintor in the square body Chevy pickup. You can never count Chris out. He can throw down a good lap at any given moment. So we have 4 left. 4 left. See Wes and Chris driving right back into the lanes. I think we got enough daylight here to finish this. It looks a little darker on the camera than it actually is here. I think we're going to be able to finish it here tonight. I'm trying to get the camera to lighten itself and really struggling with it here. So 4 left. Chris Adamson, Wes Johnson, Ron Huff, and Chris Pintor. Looks like we got a bike making a test hit here. I'm not sure who this is. This bike's pretty fast. He ran like a 350 something earlier. We'll go walk across and check this out. So the bike there, he went right down the track. 358. 358, and it looked like it bogged a little on the launch, so definitely room for improvement, but definitely a fast bike right there, 358. Not sure who was on that one. What does the winner get? Well, we started with 37 cars in today's Pro Gambler, and the way the purse goes, typically if there's around between 35 and 40 cars, the winner's share is usually around $1,000. So it's usually around $1,000 to win, and somewhere around $400 to $500 for runner-up. Wes Johnson changing his dial. Just dialed up to a 405. So I believe, if my calculator is correct here, oh yeah, I think it's 60-40. 37. So it should be around $1,100 to win and $700 for runner-up, right in that ballpark, in tonight's Pro Gambler. Looks like everybody's in, helmets on. Wes Johnson, he jumped out for a minute. He's buckling back in. Like I said, Wes Johnson, Chris Amson have both been on a roll this last, I don't know, 2 or 3 races. Should be good. So Wes Johnson near lane, Chris Adamson in the far lane. Semi-finals of the Friday Night Pro Gambler. Johnson breakout on the far side for Chris Adamson. 427 was the number on Chris's side. 407 on the 05 for Wes Johnson. Wes Johnson's going to the final of the Friday Pro Gambler. Next up, Ron Huff in the near lane. Chris Pintor in the far lane. Pintor on the brakes and gets the win. Chris Pintor, 503. 503 at 55 miles an hour. So he scrubbed off a bunch down there. So Chris Pintor will go to the final against Wes Johnson for the Friday Pro Gambler. So these two will come right back around. We'll finish this thing up for the night. We did not get to run the 395 index class tonight. As you can see, it's getting dark. All right, just did something. Ooh, that's kind of weird. All right, but yeah, so it kind of lightens it up a little bit there. We got a little more light than the camera's showing, but one more run left for the night. I'm not sure what we'll do with the 395 index. We may try to mix that in tomorrow. I think there was like 7 or 8 entered in it. See? Yeah, lightens it up. So Wes Johnson, 405's his dial. Wes and Chris are both driving back into the lanes right now. We'll finish this out for tonight. So big thank you to everybody tuning in here on the NSDN live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. We're at Avenal Sand Drags in Avenal, California. For the 2018 Avenal Sand Drags Fall Nationals. Mike waving at you up there in the tower. Doing a great job as always. Dan the man up there on the mic. 2018 Fall Nationals. So I'll take you for a little tour. We'll watch the final round from down track a little bit. See how this works out. Just caught the tripod on a tumbleweed. That was kind of interesting. So one more pass for tonight. Who is it going to be? Who's everybody rooting for? We got Wes Johnson or Chris Pintor. Wes from the Hemet area. Larry Minor Motorsports Jeep, a Ford Power. I believe he's still got a Ford motor in it. Up against Chris Pintor in the square body Chevy pickup out of Santa Margarita. The Pintor's tire and fuel service there. We're getting down near the scoreboards. Okay, so here we are, just about at the finish line. See how close it is when they get down here. Well, not sure how much we're gonna be able to see, but we'll go for it. So it looks like Wes Johnson's going to take the near lane and Chris Pintor will be over in the far lane. It's definitely getting darker quickly. So hopefully when the tractors come back, the tractors are right there, both of them. So all they got to do is just go up the track and park them, and we're ready for the final. We got some really cool GoPro footage from earlier. We had our GoPro in the center of the track between the lanes just past the finish line. I posted one of the videos of the top alcohol qualifying round earlier. So be sure to go to the NSDN Facebook page and check that out. That was really, really cool. Got some great footage of that. We'll have that posted up later on. The Graham crew's across the track watching me somewhere. Big shout out to the Graham family. Chris, Paul, Tristan, the whole crew tuning in here on the live stream. All right, one more pass. Day one will be in the books. I don't know how much we're going to see down here, but we'll give it a shot. See everybody up on the bank watching the rest of today's racing. Everybody's got their rhinos and golf carts and stuff down there. Pretty cool. Really good racer count this weekend. I got here yesterday afternoon and the pits were already getting filled up pretty quickly. So, all right, we got cars started back in the lanes. Wes Johnson near lane and Chris Pintor over in the far lane. I believe Chris is dialed somewhere around 495 or so, and Wes Johnson's dialed in at 405. They're pulling up. They are rolling in to stage for the final. The final of day one at the 2018 Avenal Sand Drags Fall Nationals. Stage lights are on. Chris is in. Waiting on Wes. Wes is in. Oh. And your winner to the far lane. Chris Pintor goes 5:02 at 65 miles an hour. Wes Johnson, he just left before the tree came on his side. He left way early. I'm not sure if he got jumpy or if he had a trans brake issue or what, but that is all, folks, for day one at the 2018 Avenal Sand Drags Fall Nationals. Actually, it looks like we got one more vehicle going to make a test hit here. Richard Ross in the Ross Racing 91 step side. Got the headlights on. We'll see how he does here. This is always a fun truck to watch. They struggled earlier today. I'm not sure what they had going on. Obviously, they must have fixed something, so they're going to make a hit right now. Alright, we'll watch him from right here. That's the same thing it was doing earlier. It just is coming out really lazy, and then about half track it comes on hard. So the Ross crew will go back and try to figure out what's going on there with the old step side. But that's all, folks, for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with more coverage here on the National Sand Drag News live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports.